Hey, today I'm going to show you how to create this. The original was from Instagram, from I think Antonin Work. Thanks for the inspiration. I saw he made it in Cavalry, and I'm really bad at Cavalry, so I tried to recreate it in TouchDesigner. And that's the result. You see, this is the network. Let's say it's a pretty easy network. And yeah, I want to show you how you also could do this. Well, yeah, we start from scratch with, first of all, a sub box. This sub box has to go into a transform, so it's not too big. Yeah, 0.1, it's pretty good. Then feed it into a null. Then feed this null into our geo comp. Wonderful. So right about now we need a camera. Not a cam plant, a camera. And a render top. Jesus Christ, what's wrong? Render. Great. Now you can see here's the box. It's pretty boring, but sooner or later it will get a lot more interesting. Also, let's change this maybe to 1080 by 1080, and for better quality change it to 32-bit float. Alright, so now we have a box. Next thing we need is a grid for our instancing network. So basically we need a ramp, make it 32-bit, and next up, 32-bit mono is enough. Next up, we'll need also a constant. That's probably the most important thing, because this will determine how big the resolution of our grid or any of our instancing operators will be. So right now I'm just saying like 50 and call it res, so we are tidy and neatly organized. Yeah, and give this resolution to the ramp. Alright, next up we'll create a flip and flop it to the bottom left, then run this into a reorder, and voila, nothing happened because I need to change this to input 2. Still nothing happened, but if I change it to RG, yeah, now we have a UV map, and create a null, call it position. And now, by now, if you've never done this, you're probably confused, because I don't blame you. It's a bit tricky, but it's basically corresponding to a regular sized and regularly patterned grid if you see it in a coordinate map. So next up, we'll go back to our cube and maybe create some company for our cube. We'll use our position texture operator as a translate operator and give it an R. So you can see we have this corresponding to the x-axis, and G corresponding to the y-axis. Next, we'll need to do a few changes to a camera, namely change it to orthographic and put down the author width to 1. Oh yeah, and change it to bottom left. Yeah. Now basically all you can see are those gray boxes, and that's why you can't see anything. So we need to change that. We are going to accomplish that via scaling, or the scale instancing top. Alright, the resolution also needs to be here. Every part of the instancing network has to have the same size of pixels or samples, so it doesn't get confused and it knows what you want to do with it. So, we could just use this V as our, this Verdana V. Yeah, I guess it's fine. You can use whatever you want, but I'm like, I want to get over with this. And next up, we'll have to give it a null, and let's just see how it looks if we do it now. And call this one scale. Give it in here, scale, and once again R and G. So it looks like a really, really bad V, just a lot of pixels, and we can change that with a level. We can just turn down the brightness until we see the cubes. Great. Wonderful. Next up, maybe size it up a bit. And yeah, as you see, it's still not like the wonderful thing we saw at first. For instance, it has like a lot of weird cubes floating around there. And usually you can get rid of them if you use nearest pixel instead of interpolate, but not in this case. All right. Otherwise, just use a different size in here or experiment. Maybe other fonts are going to perform better in this instance. And once again, you can size it up here if you want a different look. Still, like the color, it's boring. I mean, I can add a constant in here, not a convolve, a constant, and create a background. But it has just this gray color, which is like, now it's black, but earlier it was gray, which is boring. But we can change that with an constant material. So we fire up this one, and this is like a bit of the tedious part of the tutorial, because I tried like different things, but this sort of like fitted the best. I tried different materials. Maybe you can a better way, but this was like the best way I found. Please let me know in the comments if you do, because this is basically just a long cry for help. This entire tutorial is just a cry for help for this problem that I couldn't solve otherwise. So first of all, use a ramp. 3, 2. And radial. Next up, also pretty important, nearest pixel. So now we have 6 sides that correspond to the 6 sides of our cube. Next up, we will create an lookup, and just any noise will do. Not any noise, I'm sorry, just noise without monochrome. And I don't know, some somewhat acceptable colors. once again, nearest pixel. Yeah, I mean, they're okay. Let's try a little bit more. I mean, you could do anything here. Basically, you can also use just a ramp as well, or just an image you like a lot. And basically, those float values will correspond then to the colors you see in your exemplary picture. Great. Next up, we have to do the grid, the stroke of the box, which that's the part that kills me, because I used like a lot of other materials and nothing seemed to work. So please let me know if you know a better way. But I basically am going to create a rectangle and use a transform to make a grid while creating this tile effect and sizing down this one to 0.3 and this one to 0.5, and then also get this up to, I think it was 225. Yes, that's fine. Great. Next up, create an fit, and this is also like a bit of a part where I have to send you to a colleague, which video I'm going to link in the description. But these cubes have a resolution, each side of the cubes has a resolution of 512. I don't know why, I forgot, but I guess the answer is in the video, which I'm going to link you in the description. Then fit best, create this, with a fill. And now you can see what we're going to do here. We're going to create an over, and yeah, we're not gonna do that, but we already can do a nearest pixel here, and change this to that, and this to that. That's interesting. Oh yeah, of course. We had to change the input 1 as a fixed layer and change this back. Yeah, perfect. Great. Now we can change this to a constant, and then as you can see, the torus here gets this funky noise block material. And we're going to give this to the cubes like that. Yes. Perfect. As you can see, we have the blue one, but there's still, an element missing. It's the movement, for which we are going to use a pattern chop. Yeah, just like that. Add in a ramp. And once again, use the constant as a parameter of how many samples it needs, and multiply it by itself, because in the texture operators the pixels are also multiplied by themselves. So we also have to do the same thing with the array of numbers in here to get the right result. All right, next up, also pretty important, we have to change the range of the chop to 360, so it moves correspondingly to the 360 degrees that rotation needs in order to, function. And not just like not a float, but this 360. And yeah, let's give it a null and call it a rod for rotation. And next up, add it in here. And instead of RG, as the red and the green values in here, we are going to use an Oh, we forgot the B here. Yeah, the B is pretty important in here, but not really in here because it's just two-dimensional. Whatever. I guess you already know that this is not really beginner-friendly tutorial, I guess. All right, next up. Yeah, exactly. We're going to have to use a channel and not the red. And you can see something happening. Something is happening. Not the thing we want. We want movement, and it's still. So we are missing one key component, and that is the face movement, which we're going to get by adding an expression called abs_time, seconds. Wonderful. Great. We can like spice up the movement by adding in another pattern. And changing the combine channels to multiply. Right now it's chaos, but it shouldn't be because we have to add this fellow right here, as well as also abs_time dot seconds times 0.5 to have an a more eased curve and a more eased I don't know, a more natural sort of curve. And yeah, easing is important for animation. And I mean, that's about it. There are quite a few things that you can change if you want to. You can change the resolution of your grid to maybe something very low, like let's try 15 or maybe even 12, why not? And of course play around, maybe play around with the position of the, and also make it a bit bigger. Maybe I don't really like Verdana that much. Let's go to the Pangram Supply Mono. And still, it's alright. It's alright. You can do better than that. If you give it a 30, we have this sort of, 8-bit kind of look. And let's size it down. And yeah. Alright, also another thing you can do with it, right here I created another component to give it a different scale. It's like a video of a guy juggling, and I tried to key out the frame. And also pretty important, the texture has to be like black and white for the boxes to be actual, have like the same size on the Y, Z, and x-axis, and otherwise it will be quite a mess. So let's put in a switch here. And let's see the magic. Nothing is happening. Mostly because I like the resolution. I haven't adapted it into this one, so I'm just gonna use an, yeah, right. Now we have the very concentrated guy juggling. I got this video from Pexels. I guess if you pull in juggling, you will find it. Thanks a lot for the video. And yeah, I hope this was helpful or enjoyable. Thanks for watching. I guess the file, I will put it on my Patreon. You can download it there. And yeah, thanks a lot. This is my first tutorial. It's been quite I don't know, a challenge to record, but I'm glad I did it. Thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. Bye bye.